Good afternoon, and I am extremely happy to be here today, able to talk to you. Before we get started, I want you to think about, look at me, think about how old I am, and then think back when I was in college, what did my workstation look like? Like today, you might sit at your laptop, or you might have a tablet in your hand, or whatever. I didn't have a tablet, for sure, when I was in college, but just think back to what my workstation would have looked like when I was in college. Now, it's in this bag. I'm going to show it to you. Are there any small children in the audience? Because I don't want to cause emotional distress amongst the children. This was my workstation. Now, a lot of you have never seen this before, but these are called punch cards. When I was in college, we typed one line of code on each card, and there were little holes put in the card to represent each character. This was my workstation. And then, instead of calculators, like when I was in high school, we used these. This is a slide rule, right? They're totally unheard of today, but you could use this to do multiplication and division and sines and cosines and so on. And it came in this case, which had a belt loop on it. And you would wear it on your belt like a lightsaber, right? And the reason you do that is because the ladies really went for this kind of thing. That was the thing to do. So that is a way of saying that a lot has changed since I was in high school and college, right? We've had this massive amount of stuff that has happened. So when I was in college, there were no cell phones. There really were no microprocessors. None of the amazing stuff we take for granted today existed. So at this moment in history, in human history, just to go back to Lauren, we are living at the greatest time ever to start a project or a business. It's an amazing, unbelievable time to be entrepreneurial or to be project-based and to get something started, because it's so easy now, like compared to punching letters onto paper cards and putting holes in them and then submitting them. It's amazing how easy things are today. So let's just look at some of the options we all have right now. Any one of us today could walk out of this room and we could start a website. We could pick a URL, we could go to a hosting company, we could sign up, possibly for free, but at most for $5 a month, and we could have a website. We could upload some information to it, whatever we want, pictures, videos, text, graphics, whatever we want to put on that website, we can put it up there. And then the amazing thing is that the instant we do that, something like 2 or 3 billion people have access to it immediately all around the world. When you think of what Gutenberg was going through, or even 20 years ago, what you had to do to reach a worldwide audience, it was impossible for a normal person. Now, any one of us could walk out right now and talk to the entire world. And if the entire world likes what we see, then we're going to come to your website. We're going to tell our friends about it. We're going to talk about it on Facebook. We're going to tweet. We're going to do all this stuff, and you're going to get traffic. And that essentially is how Stuff Works got started. I just put up a random website, and people happen to like it. They happen to tell their friends, and poof, you have a site with 10 million people eventually coming to visit it, and they're reading like 100 million pages a month or something like that, and then you attach some ads to it, and you have revenue. It's amazing, the power of that simple idea. If you don't like that, you can start a YouTube channel. Nearly every one of us has a device in our pocket, a smartphone, that would let us take videos. We can edit them a little bit there or more on our desktop or a laptop machine. We can upload it to YouTube for free. That's the amazing part. For free. We just throw it up there. And again, 2 billion, 3 billion people have immediate access. So we could start a YouTube channel. We can have any message we want. We already have the equipment. We upload it, and poof, the whole world can see what we want to talk about. If you don't like that, you can write a Kindle book. Anybody, any one of us could walk out of here today. You go into Microsoft Word or OpenOffice, whatever. You write your book. The formatting's incredibly easy. You get it in a state you like, you upload it to Amazon, and 8 hours later, it's available to the entire Amazon marketplace. And there's more Kindle books than paper books sold now. So any one of us could do that tonight. Or we could create an app. There's the Apple App Store. There's Google Play. You could go, and a lot of us don't intuitively know a programming language, but any one of us in this room could go out and in 90 days or 120 days get competent writing Java or Objective-C programs, create an app, upload it to the App Store, and immediately hundreds of millions of people with mobile devices can download your app and they can use it. You don't like that? You can start a Twitter presence. You can go and just creating little 140 character blobs at a time, there are people who amass millions of followers and then become extremely valuable because they can send messages out to this group of people that they've assembled under their Twitter presence. Then, this is the totally mind-blowing part. You can go and do crowdfunding. So you can take whatever idea you have, you put it up on a place like Kickstarter, and money rains down from the sky into your lap. It's like unbelievable that this is possible. But I have one friend who raised $2 million for a game called Planetary Annihilation. I have another friend, a student, who raised $250,000 for a coffee mug that keeps your coffee warm longer than the standard coffee mug. I have another friend who raised like $300,000 for an iPad input device. I have another friend who raised something like $40,000 for putting signs up around Raleigh. It's amazing that this even exists, and it does exist, and any one of us could take advantage of it. So we live in this unbelievable, amazing, remarkable time when any one of us could do any of this stuff, but in general, you know, like all the options exist, yet very few of us will take advantage of it. Probably 0 of us will go out tonight and start a website. Probably 0 of us will go out tonight and do a Kindle book or an app or a YouTube channel or even a YouTube video. Like, we just won't. And the question you have to ask is, why? With all this possibility, with it becoming so easy, so amazing, so like you can create a YouTube channel and just turn on ads in 30 seconds and there's money flowing to you. You can sell Kindle books and money flows to you. You can do Kickstarter and money comes in big chunks and lands in your lap. It's just amazing, and yet very few of us take advantage of it. And the question would be, why? Like, why is it that so few people start startups or do projects? Or I didn't even talk about the whole maker space and that whole area, but like we just don't. We don't tend to do it. So why? It's kind of a mystery. So the first reason is that we also live in the greatest time ever in human history to be distracted. Okay, like with all this stuff that's happening, there's also an amazing amount of stuff that's pounding on us and trying to take our attention away from what we might want to do. And here's a quick list. There's cable TV, Hulu, Netflix, YouTube, internet, porn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, like all this stuff. Like every minute of every day you could spend just getting sucked into the vortex of distraction. It's amazing. Like, all that other stuff is possible, and then it's amazing that all these distractions exist because you can spend your entire waking day doing nothing but responding to your Twitter feed or something. It's crazy how distracted you can get. So that certainly has something to do with it. The second thing is, we have come with an ability now to generate excuses and then tweet about them to our friends and Facebook about them and so on, so that like the number of excuses we can create are remarkable. So here's a list of possible excuses. The first one's the saddest one. Some people never conceive that they could start these projects. It just never occurs to them. Like, any of us could walk out of here and start a website today, but a lot of us have never thought, hey, I could start a website. It just never occurs to a lot of people. So that's one reason. A lot of people think, well, I'm not good enough, I'm not talented enough, you know. Mark was so wonderful that he thought of Facebook. I could never think of anything like that. And we have these depressing feelings. To go back, we aren't positive enough, perhaps, or we're faced with negativity. You could say, I have no time, but no one has any time today. You just have to carve it out of that sea of distractions. I can't decide what to do. There's so many possibilities in my head. We could say, just pick one, like whichever one is coolest to you, or whichever one excites you the most right now. Just go do it and see what happens. You could say, I might fail at what I try. Well, I can help you with that. You are going to fail probably the first time. It's okay. People fail all the time. I have 100 bad ideas for every good idea I have. It's completely normal to fail. And the thing is, if you fail once, you learn from it. And then you go to the next thing and the next thing, and you learn, and eventually you're able to not fail. And then there's this last one. I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't know Objective-C, so I can't write an app. Or I don't know HTML, so I can't make a website. But the thing is, we also live in the greatest time ever in human history to go out and learn anything we want. And here's some of the places. There's all these Kindle books that other people have created. There's audiobooks, the internet, MOOCs, which are almost always free. You can go to colleges, community colleges, or you can do this thing that's really big in schools right now. You can teach to learn, meaning you go through the practice of teaching in order to learn new things yourself. So you could start your own blog. You could write your own book. You could create your own MOOC, design a class, work in schools. You can go, whatever you want to do, just start teaching it to somebody else and you'll learn it in the process. That's a lot of how my first book got created. I was trying to teach students something and it became a book. So you can get past that I don't know today because it's so easy to just go out on the internet and Google it and there you know. You can find the answer almost immediately. So here are 3 important quotes relevant to what we're talking about here today. The first one is from Woody Allen. Woody Allen isn't really popular right at this exact second, but he has a great quote. 80% of success is showing up. And you might have heard the expression, beginning is half done. That's the same idea, that if you can just get yourself in motion, if you can just get your butt off the couch, if you can just break free of the distractions long enough to get something, anything started, then you're halfway there, you're 80% of the way there, you're however far there, because so few people ever get past that point. They never are able to get started. So that is an extremely powerful thing. If 80% of success is just showing up, think how amazing that is, how positive that is, how exciting that is. The second thing is success consists of going from failure to failure without loss of enthusiasm, from Winston Churchill. And that idea is, like I said, you're probably not going to succeed on your first attempt. You might. It does happen. Justin Bieber supposedly uploaded a video to YouTube, and then like 5 days later, he started to become popular. I have no explanation for how that worked, and it was incredibly lucky, but that's how it got started. He uploaded a video. So the other thing about this is, let's say you start something and it fails, right? You learn from that, you go to the next thing, you take what you learned, you start your next thing. You start it and it fails. And you say, wow, all right, I know a lot now. You start something and it fails again. And then you start it and it fails. And you start it and it fails. What's eventually going to happen? Like, you're going to die, right? You're just going to start and fail, and then you're going to die. We all die. This is what happens to you when you get far enough along. And so you're going to be at your funeral, right? This is guaranteed. We're all at our funeral by obligation. You're lying there in state, right? There you are, and the guy comes up, or the woman comes up to eulogize you, and say it's your mother, okay? Your mother comes up. You're lying in state, and she says, Marshall never amounted to anything, never got anywhere, but he had he sure tried, and he had a lot of heart. You know, he gave it a good run. At least he didn't sit on the couch all day and watch reruns of the Brady Bunch or whatever it is that you're going to watch. So you're at least going to get credit for trying, even if it all fails, right? You can probably write a book about how I failed 15 times and then died, you know, something like that. So it's like that's just part of it. And then the last one from Larry King. Those who have succeeded at anything and don't mention luck are kidding themselves. And what that means is that once you get something started, stuff starts happening to you. And some of it is really lucky. Like it happens to you and you think, wow, it's unbelievable. I started this, you know, like in my case, I started a consulting company that was based on something called motif programming. And that same year, Wall Street all happened to convert over to start writing their programs in motif. Like, what is that? That is luck. I mean, that's just amazing, fortuitous, unplanned luck. But it wouldn't have happened if I wasn't out on the field, right? You have to be out there. You have to have started something in order for it to succeed. So here's some just quick things to think about. If you're in a place where you haven't started something, you know you have potential, you have a positive attitude, and you want to get something going. The first thing is just get anything started. Go tonight and just start a YouTube channel, or just start a website, or just start writing your Kindle book. It's amazing how powerful that is. Second thing, write down a goal or multiple goals, stick it on an index card, paste it on your bathroom mirror so you see it every morning. Just writing it down has an amazing positive effect on your forward momentum. And then the third thing is work with others. So, like if you want to be an entrepreneur, there's an amazing entrepreneurial ecosystem in Raleigh that you've never heard of, you've never seen, you've never touched, but there's thousands of people who meet constantly in all these different ways. You don't know about it because you never asked. You never tried to connect in. As soon as you take a step into that, you get swallowed in this group of thousands of people who really want to help and who really want to go somewhere with you. So find a meetup, find a group, something, and work with other people toward your goal. It makes it a lot easier to work with others. So if you want to learn more, you can come to marshallbrain.com or d2bb.org. Thank you so much for having me here today.